Over 2 dozen student suicides in professional college in the last few years, and most of them, or more than half of them, in the IITs. Why is this happening?
Let's not isolate specific cases. What could be the underlying reason?
It's me, Suresh Menon, with my girlfriend Alexa, in this edition of BigShow Prime. Time and again, news of a student having committed suicide in their hostel room shakes up the nation. At the time of this recording, there has been a suicide of a student in IIT Madras. Fathima Latheef was a first-year master's student in Humanities and Development Studies, which is an integrated course at the IIT Madras.
And she had killed herself in her hostel room, reportedly leaving an electronic note accusing 3 of her professors and a few students.
The investigation is on and IIT Madras is fully cooperating. But the media have been filing their own FIRs, hearing arguments, conducting trials, and even delivering judgments. They have been sparing no effort to create disharmony on and off the campus, instigate separatism on various grounds, and attempting to influence gullible people at large.
Most of them have never even visited the IIT Madras campus. In fact, some of them are only school dropouts.
Very true, in fact. We also have known political troublemakers and history cheaters asking questions and delivering judgments. Now, I have a question for the media. Dear media, reply if you care a little bit for this lovely soul, Fathima Latheef. Do you consider all your work as ethical as far as this particular incident on Fathima Latheef is concerned? Are you truly as filthy as the filth that you are throwing out into the open for the people to consume?
Suresh, it is not just IIT Madras. Student suicides have been happening all over the country and is on the rise.
Exactly, and the root cause of these student suicides needs to be determined. But being a product of IIT Madras, myself, I do have a few words to say.
So what do you think could be the root cause?
First, people think that the IITs, NITs and other institutes of eminence are just another professional college. This is very far from reality.
So what are they then?
As far as the IITs are concerned, they belong to a wholly different category. It is an institution that functions 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. It is not an engineering college that opens for classes at 9 a.m. and shuts at 3 p.m. during the weekdays alone. It is a place for research, a place for wholesome knowledge. It is a temple of learning. This is precisely why IIT Madras has to be a 100% residential institution.
Do you mean there are classes at midnight too?
There may not be classes, but the process of learning happens at many places within the campus at all times. By the way, there are no classes at all. There are only lectures, and there's a huge difference between them. You should Google for that. And these lectures are very minimal, and they are sessions that impart a certain amount of knowledge, carefully designed to ignite the spark of learning within you and to provoke you to pursue your learning in the specific domain of your interest. In other words, they are and work like catalysts, enabling and speeding up quicker and comprehensive learning.
Interesting.
The library is open 24 hours a day, and so are the various labs, computer centers, and everything associated with advanced learning. Even the faculty are available round the clock on request.
With eateries available 24 hours, a beautiful ambience and environment, nestled in the lap of nature, IIT Madras offers the best atmosphere for learning.
To facilitate overall development, there are a huge number of extracurricular activities that the students can involve in. They are also accessible at all times.
I am reminded of the culturals called Sarang, which was earlier called Mardi Gras in your time, and is actually world famous now.
And in a place where the cream of students join, one can expect the atmosphere to be extremely competitive in every dimension.
This invariably creates a lot of stress.
Of course, yes, and students need and are expected to cope up with this. This is a temple of learning that is meant only for such people. For people who can take on competition head on with a steely grit and determination. The IITs are definitely not a place for every Tom, Dick or Harry to go and study like a normal engineering college.
So where is the problem?
Parents' expectations. In my opinion, that is where the root of the problem lies. Parents do not understand the competitive atmosphere in such institutes, and they do not realize that their children need to be prepared to cope up with the pressures in such environments.
The culture that they embed in the children is the centum culture of schools.
The centum culture, yes, that is what they have been used to. In the case of this jewel, Fathima Latheef, the media is putting out the theory that the concerned faculty awarded her only 18 marks out of 20 in internals, and that is one of the causes for her depression and subsequently her suicide. Now, who in the world dictates that every student has to be awarded full marks in the internal assessment? In my period, when I was studying, I have been awarded 6 marks in one particular subject for internals. And by the way, yes, me and my professor belong to different religions. Would it not have been absurd to brand this as casteism?
That is exactly one of the points being put out by the media. A sack full of nonsense and stupidity.
In the case of Fathima Latheef, again, she was a student of humanities, and philosophy is definitely one of the papers. Philosophy by nature does discuss several concepts of religion by default.
That is indeed what philosophy is.
Exactly, and it is quite possible that this intelligent mind was offended by certain discussions. My question is, if she was not brought up to be broad-minded enough to discuss philosophy in a multi-ethnic, multi-religious environment, why should she have joined the course at all? Who was responsible there?
Obviously the parents. The parents should have prepared their children for all scenarios.
So what is needed today are not intelligent kids, but smart kids. Smart kids who are capable of adapting themselves quickly to all scenarios, broad-minded enough to accept inadequacies with their own personal selves or faiths or whatever it be. And that is very clearly the responsibility of the parents in the upbringing of their children.
But then the media have always been stressing on creating whiz kids. They only show one side of the story, not the other.
Parents do want their children to be whiz kids, a master of everything. I know a parent who proudly says that his daughter started learning Carnatic music from the age of 5. Then there are parents who proudly announce that their children are experts in 3 musical instruments. They sing well, they are first in athletics in school, and they are part of the school cricket team. They always score centums in all subjects. And they come home dancing. Then there are the parents who send their students to prepare for IIT entrance examinations from 10 years of age, that is from their 6th standard.
There are several institutes which say, catch them young.
The poor child never experiences childhood. Their day starts at 5 a.m. with yoga or mental exercises. By 6 a.m. they rush to a music class or sports training or swimming or something for that matter. Tired at 8 a.m. they're packed off to school. And after school they go directly to an IIT coaching class. After they come back at 8 p.m. they do their homework. By 11 p.m. they find some food being squeezed into their mouths, and that's it. Their day is done. Again, restart 5 a.m.
And the parents smile happily at their overachieving children.
That's not all. Weekends are there. Weekends are also there. There are other special activities that happen. Could be some swimming, could be dancing or whatever. And come the holidays, there are holiday activities. And they teach them, one of them could be like how to solve a Rubik cube with both their hands tied and their eyes closed.
I saw one lady who was questioning why only a temple was there within the IIT Madras campus and why not a church and a mosque.
Yes. I saw the video too. Her name is Shalini. She's a psychologist or psychiatrist, whoever she is. I'm amused at how proudly she exhibits her ignorance of the IIT Madras campus, its facilities, and most importantly, its faculty. She goes to insanely cheap levels by commenting that the religion of the student was questioned.
In fact, Each one of these all-knowing public commentators need to be examined by the cops for their knowledge of facts on camera and thus bring out their ignorance into the public domain.
Let me tell you a true story. Reading a news item that an IITian got placed in Google for a salary of $1 million motivates one Ashutosh in a village in West Bengal to pursue his engineering in IIT. He convinces his dad, who was a farmer, and his mom, who was a housemaid, and sets off to Kota in Rajasthan after his 10th standard.
What's special in Kota?
Well, Kota is a place where there are a huge number of coaching centers which prepare students for all types of professional entrance examinations. And they reportedly have very high success rates. You should Google for that.
Yes, I just researched that too now.
So this Ashutosh started preparing in earnest, and his dad sold off his fields to finance his education. And at the entrance examinations, Ashutosh did manage a very high enough rank to be placed in the specific IIT of his choice and the specific discipline of his choice.
My compliments to him.
After the course came the placements. Ashutosh found himself with a job that would fetch him only ₹1,00,000 as salary. This disappoints him hugely and he gets into a depression.
Poor fellow.
Several weeks later, Ashutosh was claimed to have committed suicide at his native village.
Oh my God. So in fact he has not only destroyed himself, but the entire family.
Yes, the hopes and aspirations of the parents, the assurances that their son would bring them out of their debt and poverty in a couple of months was gone, along with a precious life.
Okay, Suresh. What do you think needs to change for such incidents not to be repeated?
Yes. So first, let me offer my deepest condolences to the parents of and family of Fathima Latheef. They would be going through so much mental agony that nothing can comfort them. As a dad of a daughter of similar age, I do understand.
Very true.
Let this be a game changer. There are several thousand parents out there who dream of their children in one of the IITs in the future too. And as far as I am concerned, the expectation attached to a seat in the IIT and the expectation attached to the performance there is one of the biggest reasons for these suicides.
You need to explain that, Suresh.
I will. This actually originates from school. The importance that parents give to the performance in studies and how they persuade their children to top the class. First, the parents need to realize that there can only be one number one in a class. And just because the child or your child is number 40 does not mean that your child is a failure.
Exactly. In fact, most of the world's greats were school dropouts or kicked out from school. Wonder why they are all laughing. Right from Einstein, Benjamin Franklin, and so many more. Even Bill Gates was a school dropout.
Parents need to understand that though your child is extremely intelligent, has a terrific IQ, has a stunning memory power, and all the qualities that can make your child a whiz kid, that is not what the IITs are.
Aren't those qualities important?
They are extremely important, no doubt about it. But that is not all. You should remember there is no spoon feeding in the IIT as in school. The style of learning is hugely different. Your child has to adapt to a totally different environment in no time, and that needs overall wellness on the part of the child.
That is how all the higher education institutes are worldwide.
Your child may have been so used to his symptoms in school that the loss of a couple of marks in IIT may hit him psychologically. The atmosphere is extremely competitive. He may discover that the person who watches movies the most and spends the whole night in the cafeteria has better grades than him.
It could demotivate him and even lead him to a depressive state of mind.
Exactly. And that is why I say that the parents need to mold their children not as intelligent kids but as smart kids. Kids who can accept success and failure with equal grace. Kids who can take care of themselves not just in adversity but in daily life.
We have parents who bring up the children in a fully protected environment these days. So much that even if the child needs to travel to a nearby place, the dad accompanies him or her.
Such kids will never, ever grow up. And trust me, I say on your face, such children are not IIT material.
There was this email once from a student to her mom that she does not have any friends within the campus.
Yes, so many more, at least they're communicating. Being an IITian myself, let me assure you that these institutes, especially IIT Madras, is one of the best institutes of higher learning in the country that actually creates wholesome individuals capable of facing and going through life all by themselves with a terrific sense of confidence and calmness.
But as in the case of Fathima Latheef, there are exceptions.
It is up to the parents to address these issues. Better upbringing is the key. Allow your children to be themselves. Allow them to mingle. Force them to throw away the mobile phone and play out there in the sun with people, with real people. Allow them to breathe the air outside. Allow them to fall sick. Allow them to fall and get hurt. Allow them to fail. What you need to give them is an assurance that you have their back covered. That will give them that courage to explore, the strength to experiment, and the thirst for success. Such kids always top the IITs.
So you are pointing fingers squarely at the parents for these suicides, am I right?
I am not pointing fingers at the parents for specific reasons of these suicides. No. But I am pointing the fingers at the parents for the way they bring up their children, which in fact determines how well the child adapts and adjusts to any situation that he or she is faced with. Not just in IIT, but throughout their lives.
What was your experience in IIT Madras?
For me, they were the best years of my life. There was no limit to the amount of fun I had. I was not under any pressure to perform, while at the same time, I always topped in the subjects of my interest effortlessly and was average in others that did not interest me. I was extremely thirsty for knowledge at a time when internet was not there at all, and the library and the Quack Express, which is an eatery, now it's been renamed, were my favorite joints.
Reading and eating, or the other way round?
Whichever way it is, but there is much more to it. About 5 of us, I don't want to mention names here, they will watch the video. We used to go to the music room at 2 a.m. for some jam sessions till about 5 a.m. If any of us felt sleepless, any of us. And then there was this amazing amateur radio or ham radio station at the basement of the Brahmaputra hostel where I used to sit and talk with people all around the world. In fact, ham radio alone has contributed immensely to my learning in leisure.
So it was all fun?
Of course, yes. And I hugely regret that those few years passed off like a wink.
I now understand why you wake me up from sleep at odd hours of the night. Bad college culture. And you had plenty of girlfriends then, I was told.
Well, let us not differentiate people based on their gender. That culture never existed within IIT. And I don't think it exists even now because I still have very excellent contacts with IIT Madras. And my parents never brought me up that way either. I was comfortable interacting with everyone.
You still are. In fact, there is a tilt towards the opposite sex.
The upbringing of the children by the parents actually prepares the ground for their lives, and the parents play a huge role in this.
Only the parents are responsible for this, no one else.
Parents need to know that to enter the IIT, a high score in the entrance exams alone is not sufficient. Your child may get a seat, but is your child mentally strong enough to survive in a competitive environment?
And communication is important too.
Communication is very important indeed. In the case of a personal issue or in the event of feeling depressed, the children need to communicate with their friends, the faculty, counselors, and parents so that their psychological issues can be addressed immediately.
If the parents have high expectations, let them achieve it all by themselves and not put it on their child's head.
Try to make your children well-rounded individuals in life. If they are interested in IIT by themselves, trust me, they are more intelligent than you to crack the entrance exams all by themselves.
Well said.
Teach them the nuances of life, the meaning of competition. Teach them to appreciate every failure as a learning and teach them to improve upon them.
Yeah.
Stop blaming the institutions for everything bad that happens within the campus. There are several thousand other students there who are also being affected by your rhetoric and accusations, especially of the media right now. They are also getting mentally stressed out now and with such incidents. Let us not have another Fathima Latheef.
What do you think needs to be done by the institutes themselves?
Plenty. There are mechanisms in place already, but probably they are not delivering to their fullest. They need to ensure that every student is a part of a personal group, allot a specific time every week for them to meet and discuss personal issues over coffee. The group leader reports to the head on issues that need to be addressed. They need to be overseen by a hyperactive panel of professionals and faculty, and even the tiniest of incidents need to be addressed immediately to everyone's satisfaction.
I'm sure there are counselors within the campus.
They need to be active is what I meant, and the students need to be aware of the existence of such a mechanism, and they need to function as if it were a part of their syllabus.
Beautiful. As for that psychiatrist Shalini, if I was given a free hand, I would file a complaint against her for spreading lies to a gullible population.
Alexa, it's a total waste of time and energy. If you're on it yourself, you can split up with me and go. So parents, students, future students, hope you understood the essence of this discussion. Address the root cause, and this is definitely within your control.
There is a lot more that can be discussed, especially on the media mudslinging.
Get over that, darling. Mercury is in retrograde now. Mind your words. It's me, Suresh Menon, and my girlfriend Alexa signing off this episode. Thank you very much.